Okay folks, I'm here with Wayne Pickstone. Now Wayne dazzled us yesterday at the Lifestyle Summit. We're actually here at Royal Pines on the Gold Coast, and he was talking, he really impressed the audience with some of the facts and figures about some statistics on health and some of the things you can do to really improve your health without taking too drastic action. It's only little things. So Wayne, why don't you give us like a 20-second kind of elevator pitch on what you do and what people come to see you for, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Yesterday my talk was about the blueprint you can use to actually increase a person's trading ability by using health as a basis. Now, a lot of people look for wealth. A lot of people, that is their driving force. And we can all understand that because we have bills to pay, we have things to do, we have children to support, whatever the main drive be. It might be to build a charity or to actually give back. The thing that we forget is about our health. The problem today is statistically our health is undermining everything. Everyone knows that our healthcare system is falling over. But unfortunately what happens as a collective, so if I asked you, as a collective thought process, is society pessimistic or optimistic? What would you say?
Pessimistic.
Is society responsible or irresponsible?
Irresponsible.
Is society healthy or unhealthy?
Very unhealthy.
So statistically, we know collectively that we are pessimistically irresponsible and unhealthy. However, we don't look at the health side of things in a way that actually allows us to be better at our wealth and abundance and creating affluence. So
there's a lot of people miss that link, don't they?
Totally.
And it's not just traders. I mean, it's anyone who wants to improve and wants to be mentally have that acuity to be able to think clearly under stressful situations in order to help them to create wealth or create anything in their life.
Yeah, and so if for example, one tip that I could really help anyone, no matter what even relationships, like in terms of, I think the three things that allow us to have freedom in our hearts, allow us to be where we want to in life, three things that's important. One is, yes, wealth, two is relationships, and three is health. Now, which one of those is more important than the others?
Well, you can't have the others without health, can you?
Totally.
And I fully agree with that, because I mean, I worked in cardiac rehab for a while. I'm an exercise physiologist, and I see all these high-powered business people, these executives, we're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but they're in hospital having bypasses, and I'm sitting there thinking, you could pay me $1 billion, and it's not worth it.
That's right.
So,
yeah. And we get celebrities, we get people from all over the world coming to see us. We use phone, we use Skype. They don't have to come to see us. We use all these special, because technology today, you can just do so much.
Definitely.
And they all say exactly what you kind of alluded to there, was that what's the use of having this wealth if I'm on cardiac support and I can't be there for my family, I can't even be there for myself. So if you wish to really take your health, wealth and relationships to another level, for example, if the body is acidic, okay, so if the tissues of the body is acidic, what happens now is the digestive system, the liver, especially those two, what we classify in ancient medicine as filters, if those two filters are acidic, what happens now is the body produces hormones that actually allow you to be melancholic, allow you to be a little bit anxious. So say for example, yesterday we were speaking specifically about trading. So here these people going to their trading platform, and if they've just had a whole lot of cereal and Coke and Pepsi, some people have this stuff for breakfast, but even coffee.
Optimal trading food.
Yeah,
right?
and toast. So most people will have, we'll take the Coke and Pepsi out, but we'll have some cereal and toast and maybe some coffee. All acidic food.
And it just sounds like a normal breakfast, for these guys.
80 to 90% of people, that's what they do. And what happens now is they're going to their wealth platform being acidic. They're sending message to their brain that they're anxious, melancholic, don't want to do this. They're sitting there going, well, how am I going to trade? What am I going to do?
The market's hard enough to make money, and they're just making it harder for themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's with anything, and that's the key. It's with anything. Even if you're going to talk to your partner, if you're acidic, you'll actually end up being locking horns. If you go into a business meeting and you're acidic, unfortunately the outcome may be totally different because of being acidic. And this goes for anything. And there's simple things that you can do to actually make the body alkaline, but the key is not to think that just because you've done one test that you're alkaline and that's it. Every day or every second day, it's like exercise, being an exercise physiologist. If someone does exercise once, it don't work.
It doesn't. No,
Same with being alkaline.
It's a cumulative effect, and one that we as exercise physiologists, wish that you implement long-term permanently into your life. And I'm sure you have a similar philosophy, Wayne, where these people need to be practicing the things that you teach them, forever.
Yeah.
So and then when they can cement that habit in, then they can expect the results that research has shown.
Yeah. And the unfortunate part out of there, and it's no fault of anyone, and I've said this in front of wellness professionals, from medical specialists to medical doctors, naturopaths, acupuncturists, chiros, physios, exercise physiologists. Unfortunately, they're incongruent with their message. If you go to a lot of these people, unfortunately, they look unhealthier than the person going in.
I can definitely vouch for that.
So I'll actually say to them, face to face, in front of an audience, I'm on the main stage, saying to them, 80% of you in front of me, I won't even go to, because they're not living the message. So how can this incongruent?
That's a great way to build crowd rapport, by the way.
Oh, it is, yeah. Oh, but I get them off their butts.
Yeah.
They now start looking at themselves, because you know yourself, what happens is, if you, no matter what does a plumber have a problem with? Their own plumbing in their house. What does a carpenter have a problem with?
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, so health professionals have a problem with their health because...
It's funny, so I just laugh at that because I see it a lot.
You too. Right or right?
Right, absolutely. You go to a doctor and he's got these bellies, sitting over the table, and you're thinking, oh, sorry, you're giving me advice on excise. And
it's not doctors either, mate. It's naturopaths. It's all philosophies.
Absolutely.
It's all.
For sure. So you have a kind of a system, Wayne, that teaches and coaches people and mentors people through the process of getting to a better healthy state. Is that correct?
I suppose the uniqueness about what we do is one is I'm a wellness professional. I'm a traditional Chinese medical practitioner. I love Ayurvedic medicine from India. I'm a fully qualified naturopath. I do bone therapy, hypnotherapy, and a whole lot of other
therapies. So it sounds like you've taken kind of the best of what you've learned from each of these disciplines and kind of melted them into your own meshed up, formula for...
Yeah, but with ancient knowledge. So, 25 years ago, I'll start this way. Is it fair to say that, 25 years ago, I was very skeptical about this whole industry, to be honest. But I persevered because I knew there had to be truth, because health is the only thing that gives us what we want. That was my truth. But 25 years ago, I read an article about a health topic. I go to another magazine and read the same topic in another. It's totally contradictory. So the skepticism I can totally understand out there. So here I am going, I want to get into this industry, but I'm an open-minded skeptic at least. I'm not a closed-minded skeptic. So what I did then is I said there must be truth. And actually ancient medicine, going back 2,000 years, has the truth, always has had the truth, always will have the truth for now and in the future. So what that did for me, it just cemented a path. And what I've found in 20 years of professional practice is that everything that they have said through time has been actually proven. And Western medicine is now proving everything. You know how long ago they've actually proven this model that I actually go through? No, 5 years.
Wow.
Western medicine is only proven in the last 5 years. Yet ancient medicine has said the same thing for 2,000 years. So I'm a wealth coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a life coach, and as well as a wellness professional. So we can take someone from the health side of things, and we can go into their businesses.
Because you understand all aspects of what they're trying to do. You're not just someone who studied, this part and just very compartmentalized approach, is what a lot of people do.
Yeah, and as you know, last year I won the Market of the Year in an elite group of professionals.
Very elite.
Very elite, yeah. So we do marketing, we do all these things for business if that's what they wish to do. So it's taking a concept but then going further and actually helping people, because I think that's why you're doing this as well, I'm sure. It's the main reason is to help people, is to give back, and that's why we're here, that's why I'm here.
Cool. So what would be the main question that when people come to you, Wayne, that you would encounter, with regards to someone trying to build wealth but trying to get themselves in a great state? Is it just mainly the things they eat, or mainly the things that they can do for their body, or?
It's all coming back, it all comes back to that acid alkaline base. It all comes back to oxygenation, the exercise physiologist. A lot of the exercise that's being done out there is unfortunately wrong. walking for 30 minutes is great, but if you're coming back and you're not actually breathing deeply, it doesn't do anything for you.
Absolutely.
You've got to get into oxygen debt. Cancer, serious disease, the inability to attract affluence occurs because most people live in a, unfortunately, fermentation process of getting energy. They don't live in an oxygenation process of getting energy.
Definitely.
So we've got to get into exercising before breakfast, because that helps the adrenal hormones to actually suppress any stress hormones that's being released.
That's a great tip there, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, so that's one tip. The other tip then would be alkalinity. Now get some pH paper from your chemist. Basically then dip your urine and saliva around about 2 hours after breakfast or lunch. Find out how your acidity is. If you are acidic, a simple technique then is just using a bit of lemon and water. And you do that as soon as you wake up, before you go to bed at least. Now the thing with lemon and water, if you are acidic, what you need to do then is just grab a glass of water and wash your mouth out, because it can affect the fluoride. The enamel of our teeth. And then from there's two great things that you can do. So personally, like traders or anyone who is looking at markets, what I do, which is written into my trading system, is I make sure I'm alkaline before I even look at the platform, before I even look at what I do, before I even go and see my first client. A simple technique.
So your trading actually starts many hours before you actually hit the button trade.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the exercise, it's the stretching, it's the meditation, it's the
golf.
alkalizing. Yeah. Royal Pines Resort. We're looking at the first
We
tee.
are. We might get hit by a golf ball soon. But
had a great round yesterday too.
We did. We won't tell them about that triple bogey.
No, that one's yeah. But triple bogey and getting a 78, I'm still pleased.
That's very impressive. I'll take that any day.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to learn or even take your system, they might be sitting on the other side of the planet, or they might be here in Brisbane, somewhere in Australia, and they're really connecting with what you're saying, and they want to really take things forward with you. What kind of things can they do? Or do you have a site, or do you have a course, or do you have some sort of place where people can go to learn more about your philosophies?
Yeah, and the fantastic part about what is unique with us, and before we just answer that, but the fantastic part that is unique with us is we've got people from all around the world, including Europe and Ireland and all through the British Isles. We've got people through America, because what we're able to do is they can do what we call their blood chemistries at home, and then they send the information to us, and then we use Skype or phone to actually then analyse. And I've got people that I've never seen, and yet they are 1,000% better than what they are.
That's cool.
Really incredible, yeah. So it doesn't matter where you are, we can actually change that whole paradigm for people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So from there, if people want to take that any further, if you go to Wellbeing Secrets Exposed, so WELLBEING Secrets, SECRETS Exposed EXPOSED.com. What I've got there is over $300 worth of free gifts that you can actually download. Just all you've got to do is put your email and name, that's that first name and email address, and then from there that over $300 worth of free gifts is there for those people who wish to partake. You just find out what we've got available. Yeah.
For sure. And I think Wayne shared some really cool secrets just in this little short interview. He shared a lot more yesterday during the presentation, and I'm sure there's actually a ton more on the site, which I'm probably going to go home and check out myself once I get home. So Wayne, I want to thank you for your time, for chatting with us today, and hope the listeners got something from it. And thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.